Imagine how you feel after a long, exhausting day at work. You step into the bathroom, turn on the hot water, lather up with soap, and wash away the dirt. In the modern world, bathing every day isn't just a habit. It is a fundamental measure of civilization. Someone who doesn't shower for 3 days is considered to have a serious hygiene problem. But now, look closely at the aristocrats dancing in this magnificent palace. They are draped in the finest silk and velvet, adorned with the most expensive diamonds on earth. And hidden beneath those layers of extravagant clothing is a horrifying, unimaginable stench. King Louis XIV of France, the great Sun King, is rumored to have bathed only 3 times in his entire seven-year life. Queen Isabel of Spain once proudly declared that she had only bathed twice, the day she was born and the day she was married. To us, this is the ultimate filth. But to them, it was the only way to protect their lives. Welcome to history's next great deception. In this video, we are going to uncover a dark belief that once haunted the entire Western world, a time when water was considered the messenger of death and taking a bath was viewed as an act of suicide. To understand this madness, we have to go backward in time. Humans weren't always afraid of water. In ancient Rome, bathing was a collective obsession. The Roman Empire built massive public bathhouses, heated by underground pipes, where thousands of people would soak, get massages, and socialize daily. But then, a catastrophe struck that permanently altered humanity's relationship with water, the bubonic plague, also known as the Black Death. In the 14th century, this pandemic swept across Europe, wiping out tens of millions of people. Faced with that terrifying devastation, the greatest medical minds of the era had to find an explanation. And they came to a deadly conclusion. Disease was spread through miasma, foul, toxic air. Renaissance medicine believed that the layer of dirt and sweat on your skin was actually a natural suit of armor. If you soaked in hot water, especially in public baths, your pores would open wide. And once those pores were open, the toxic miasma carrying the plague from the air would easily invade your internal organs and kill you. Water was no longer something that cleaned you. It was viewed as a weapon that breached your body's defenses. Public bathhouses across Europe were boarded up. Official medical advice urged royalty and commoners alike to avoid water at all costs. The gold standard for health at the time was simple. Keep your pores safely clogged with dirt to block out the plague. So, how did they clean themselves if they couldn't use water? Welcome to the era of dry washing. The aristocracy believed that white linen possessed magical properties. It could absorb all impurities and sweat straight out of the body. Instead of taking a bath, they simply changed into fresh linen undergarments that rubbed tightly against their skin multiple times a day. The richer you were, the more often you changed your linen. The only flesh allowed to touch water were the hands and face, simply because they were exposed to the public. To mask the horrendous body odor accumulating over years, they invented the most overpowering perfumes, drenching their clothes, gloves, and wigs. The glorious Palace of Versailles, home to thousands of people, didn't have a single proper toilet or bathroom. The stench of Western royalty during this era is something our modern noses literally cannot comprehend. But let's pause for a second. While the Western elite trapped themselves in stench and disease, what were our wild ancestors doing? Our hunter-gatherer ancestors lived for 300,000 years without any concept of antibacterial soap or luxury perfume. They lived deep in nature, covered in dirt and brush. But they were never afraid of their own bodies. Anthropologists observing the Hadza in Tanzania, one of the last remaining hunter-gatherer tribes, noted their daily routines. During the heat of midday, they sit in the shade, lean on each other, and spend an hour picking lice from each other's hair. It sounds gross to us, but this hour-long activity is mostly just an excuse to be physically close to the people they love. They weren't obsessed with sterility. They were constantly exposed to the bacteria in the soil, the spring water, and the flora, and that rich microbiome forged an ironclad immune system. Europe's madness only truly ended in the mid-19th century. When scientists like John Snow and Louis Pasteur proved the germ theory, humanity woke up in horror. The enemy wasn't miasma. It was invisible microorganisms thriving in filth. Water didn't bring disease into the body. Water washed it away. The modern bathroom was born. Underground sewer systems were built. But the story didn't stop there. Chemical and cosmetic corporations jumped in. They realized that cleaning the human body could be a massive money-printing machine. By the early 20th century, aggressive advertising campaigns manufactured a brand new phobia, the fear of body odor. They convinced the entire world that the natural human body was something to be ashamed of. You had to scrub your skin with antibacterial soap, strip your hair with chemicals daily, and roll on antiperspirants to paralyze your sweat glands. We swung from a terrifying fear of water to the opposite extreme, an absolute obsession with total sterility. And that brings us to a disastrous consequence we are paying for today. Currently, about 30% of the global population suffers from allergies. Your immune system has one single job: to protect you. But in humans today, this system regularly goes to war against things that are completely harmless: pollen, peanuts, dust, and cat hair. Do you know why? Science calls this the hygiene hypothesis. We have created living environments that are entirely too clean, overusing antibacterial soaps and locking ourselves inside sealed rooms. The immune systems of modern infants are no longer exposed to the diverse microbiomes from mud, animals, and nature like our ancestors were. And just like a highly trained army with no enemy to fight, your immune system starts hallucinating. It turns around and attacks the very air you breathe and the food you eat. The history of cleanliness is a perfect testament to human arrogance. Hundreds of years ago, out of sheer ignorance, we turned our backs on water and suffocated in the filth of disease. Today, out of an obsession with perfection, we use harsh chemicals to eradicate every natural microorganism, stripping away the very biological shield that evolution spent millions of years building for us. Your body is not a machine that needs to be perfectly sterilized, nor is it a fortress whose pores must be permanently sealed shut. It is an ecosystem, and an ecosystem can only be healthy when it remains connected to the natural world. Cleanliness is not the enemy. The extreme, unnatural ideal society drills into our heads are. If you are starting to realize that the things you take for granted are actually just systems designed to manipulate you, hit the like button and subscribe right now. Don't forget to ring the bell so you never miss the truth. In our next video, we are leaving the physical body behind to explore an even more subtle psychological trap. Why does a brilliant, flawless person seem unapproachable, while a smart person who spills coffee all over themselves instantly becomes incredibly likable? The bizarre reality of the pratfall effect awaits you. See you next time.